I'm going to start off with Street Trash. Now, if it says coming in 2024, this is the only poster I could find for it. But yeah, Street Trash, which is a new film coming out, which is a remake of the original Street Trash from the 80s, which tells the tale of homeless people in New York City being melted down, by a rich conglomerate, and sort of like the horror that was that. It was very low budget, and talking about the 80s version, this very low budget movie that had a lot of practical gore to it, but it took itself seriously in a way. I think there was a real message about going after the rich and how we treat the homeless, especially in the 80s, in that time, in that area. And it was pretty grueling, so, and cruel at times. So, and that's not that has changed, but this is a remake of that movie from the 80s. It takes place in South Africa. I don't exactly know where. I don't believe they mentioned, but it takes place in like the futuristic 2050 something, I think it is, and it follows a band of homeless people who are kind of in encampment, and they're just trying to survive. And some of them keep going, some keep going missing every now and then, and it turns out that they are being melted as well, as an experiment by a giant corporation. I'm gonna say, as you can see, I gave this a half Mike in my 1 out of 5s, and the reason being is, I got to be honest, it just did not resonate with me. I turned it off after like 15 minutes. It was just, I have no problem. Listen, I love absurdity. I love craziness. I love horror, even if the horror and it's horror comedy or however you want to play it. I don't care how crazy you get. Fine. If you're doing something just, I don't know, to be outrageous, it's not funny, and like, it's just boring. And that's what happened. I reached the 15-minute mark, and I'm like, I'm just super tired of watching this. I'm bored. And then I was just going to get a no rating, because I won't rate a movie that I didn't finish. And in my life, I think there's like maybe 3 or 4 movies I didn't finish. And this was one of them. Well, this was one of them at the time. And so I was going to give a no rating. I felt really bad because I'm like, it still is an ultra low budget. It's in indie. I want to, try and, get back to it. So, I went back to it, I watched it, and, it didn't get better. I will say, like, for the effects and what they are, and for the budget that it is, the effects are used well, but it did seem very, very rudimentary, in a lot of elements. But the melting effects, they look pretty cool. So, there's top, yes. Daniel's here. Spoilers. I didn't give too many spoilers. There's top 5 movies you couldn't finish. Maybe in the we'll talk about that on the podcast. Dan, of course, is my one of my partners in crime over there on the Scene Snobs podcast. You can check that out every Tuesday on the Scene Snobs channel. Watch or listen. So yeah, with Street Trash, it was one of those movies that just seems like it was remade to be more nostalgic, like because the movie almost feels, watching it, what a lot of those like fan films or things like that kind of like are trying to reach for the feeling that movie, the original movie, made them feel, versus making a movie that either parodies or sort of copies, and or rips off even in certain ways. It just feels like they're chasing nostalgia when movies like this are being made, and this one just didn't capture the feel of the original. There's no grittiness to it. It feels forced. It feels like forced nostalgia. Like, remember Street Trash? Well, this is Street Trash, and it's like, it's not, though. And that's why I gave it a half of a mic. It just, for me, did not resonate. And I don't mean to tear it apart, anything like that. There's some fun elements to it. There are some puppetry, things like that are just wild, but like, you could do it, like, if you incorporate it into an original product that isn't like a remake of something that, let's face facts, like, yeah, maybe fun for some, like I don't mind it. It was cool enough, but like, it's not a great movie. We got to stop defending all the cult classics as they're the greatest movies of all time. They don't go up that way. But grading this one on a curve, like, it's going to be comparative to the next movie that I'm reviewing in that, like, sort of budget, where it's at, but there's vast differences when I'm looking at them. So for me, Street Trash Remake was just not a miss, but like again with the original was like into obscurity until some people found it and we're just like, hey, it's good. For this one, it's a miss for me because it doesn't even hold like that charm of the original, like campiness or charm. So yeah, if you're catching this as a clip, thank you so much. Go check out the full reviews and where all podcasts are. But let's get into the next one. Thank you guys again. I really truly appreciate it. We would truly appreciate if you guys are watching a clip or you're watching these, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. This is really only where we are. I think we're on Blue Sky, and we have a Patreon, which is also free. You can sign up for, get you into Discord and all that other stuff. And yeah, we're just building a good community here in the Snob Nation, trying to do positive vibes, having a good time. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this, hanging out with us. I just want to say until next time, I'm Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs channel, like I said, here over on Patreon and stuff like that. But make sure to check out the Scene Snobs podcast or the Scene Snobs reviews, wherever podcasts are. We're everywhere. And we'd love for you to go check it out because I will be honest with you, it means a lot to me. I love doing this stuff and I love having the community and stuff like that. So until next time, remember to be kind to each other and take care of yourselves because that's very important. And I'll talk to you very, very soon.